everyone, welcome to episode 73 of the Arieknits podcast. My name is Ariel, and this is a video podcast where I talk about all the things that I have been knitting and spinning on for the past week. This week, it's pretty exciting because I have a few new cast-ons. I have a finished object, and I have one almost finished object, and I'm really excited to talk about all of them. So, yeah, let's get started. Let's get right into it. I will start with what I am wearing because it is also my one finished object for this week. This is the Ogee tank by Sari Nordlund, and the yarn I use for this is Sewrella yarn silk sock base in the colorway Rose, and I knit size 1. I use US 1.5 needles, which is 2.5 millimeter size needles, and this top, I cast this on last year, summer, and so because it's a tank top made from a silk yarn base, so it really was a summer top, and it's now been almost a year from when I cast it on, and so it's been a long time in the making, and part of that reason is because, as you'll see when I stand up, it is an all-over lace cable-y type of pattern, and and as you heard the needle size, it is a very small needle size, so it just really, when I just was not in the mood for a kind of a long time to work on this top because it was just so small and so intricate, and every single round just felt like it took forever. It just was not something I was looking forward to, but I really wanted the finished object. I knew I would love the finished object, and so this is just one of those tops, I think, where it's like, I wouldn't say I particularly enjoyed knitting it just because of the intricacy of it, but I really like the end product. I actually wore this all day today, and so I've already got some kind of wear out of it. It is quite hot and sunny today here in Seattle, so I'm testing it out. It's feeling really good so far. Yeah, let me stand up. Oh, final measurements for this. I got 29 inches in circumference, which gives me about 1 inch of negative ease, and I usually don't like negative ease. For what I've noticed, and I think most of you have probably noticed if you've knit a few garments already, is that it seems most like, tanks and yeah, like tanks and t-shirts. Maybe not t-shirts, definitely tanks. Kind of the recommended ease for it is usually like some kind of negative ease for tanks. So that's a closer fitting garment versus sweaters, which usually have positive ease for them. Even for tanks, I don't really like too much negative ease. It kind of just like scares me a little bit because I just don't like tight clothing. I don't like things to stick to me in all the places, and so even for tanks, I tend to size up usually, but in this case, I did not. This is the smallest size, and I actually, the pattern says the final circumference for the smallest size, I believe it said 30 inches, and this is 29, so mine's came out a little smaller, but I actually like the fit. I think it lays really nicely, and I think that I added just a little bit of length to the body, so yeah, I'm trying to think of other modifications I made to this pattern. Oh, one other thing was that for the straps, so one thing I didn't notice is that there's actually, from when you start doing like decreases for the straps, you stop the lace chart. Oh my gosh, my legs were shaking when I was trying to stand up and crouch to do that. But when you stop the lace chart on both sides, it's actually, kind of shorter, and so you do an I-cord, 7-stitch I-cord, I believe. It was kind of large. I don't think I've ever done a 7-stitch I-cord, but you do a 7-stitch I-cord just to meet the front and back together. And the pattern says how much to knit that per size. Of course, you can adjust that to your own liking. And for me, I've noticed some pictures of this top where the armhole is really large, like where it hits under the arm is kind of really low, and I don't want like my bra strap to be showing under my arm, and so I did shorten the I-cord portion by like an inch, and the fit is really good. I always feel like for straps like this, for tank tops, they're either too short and so they kind of like a little too high, or they're too long. I like always am trying to make sure I get it exactly right. Also because I feel like over time for skinny straps like this, they do kind of like stretch out, and so when I do try this on before blocking and I'm trying to figure out the length, I do kind of stretch it, like pretty much stretch it to its max, because I'm going to assume at some point it's just going to be stretched at whatever max stretch it's going to be. And this time it worked out. I really like the armhole sizing here. Let me stand up and talk more about the details here. So here's the top. I love the color. Again, I actually really, I knew I would like the finished object, but I actually really like it. I really like the color. I like let me stand up. I really like all of the, like the cabling and the lace all over. I really like the pattern and the design. I like the shaping overall. So the front, and you can wear this either way. I've seen on other finished object pictures of this that you can either wear it with the scoop neck in the front, or this is the way that the pattern was made, but you can wear it whichever way. There is a V shape in the back, so you could make it the V-neck in the front if you would like as well, but I think I like it this way better. Let me try and actually like turn around, but I won't be able to see the camera on what that looks like. But yeah, so this is a top. As I've said before, it's all over pattern, lace, and cables, and so it took a really long time to knit up, but I was determined this time around to get it done really quickly, and actually I was able to get it done pretty quickly after not knitting on this for a very long time. I think that when I last worked on it last year, I might have been over here for the body, so and it's worked bottom up. I might have been over here. This might have been all I worked, and then all the rest I finished in the past couple weeks or a few weeks. I just went really hard on it to get it done. Perfect timing, honestly, because I just blocked this yesterday or the day before that, and so it was done drying and I could wear it today. And as I said earlier, it's really hot here today, so it's kind of perfect for me to start wearing it. And I've been trying to change my mindset a little bit on I want to knit some summer knitwear before it gets hot so that they are ready to wear just at any time that the weather starts to get really warm. So this worked out really perfectly, and I'm trying to think what else I have to say about this. Oh, this was the first time I have knit with this yarn base, which is the Sewrella silk sock, and I really like it. The knitting with it was fine. I feel like it might have been slightly splitty, but I feel like that's also how I feel with the knitting for olive pure silk yarn as well. But it's been fine. I just have to kind of be careful. But it could also be because this seriously was all lace and cable, as I've said 10 times already. So just that in itself just makes it a little more tedious to work. So overall, really like it. I would buy this yarn base again. But I guess the kind of sad thing, not sad, just I don't know what to do. I bought 2 full skeins of this to make this top because I think the yardage was I would need just a little bit of a second skein, but I was not going to try and make a cropped version of this or I didn't want to worry about running out of yarn, so I did buy 2 skeins, and I think I used 1 gram of yarn of the second skein, so I basically have an entire 1 skein of this colorway in the silk sock base. And so I'm trying to see if there's another summer top that I can use with just 1 skein, because because it is it's a silk base, it's not a wool merino base or something. I can't just put it somewhere as a contrast color in a shawl or a sweater. I mean, I guess you could, but I don't know. I kind of want it to be part of like a summer top just because of the base. So that is the only kind of sad thing, but I guess I am glad I had it because I really did need a little bit more to finish, but I guess I could have really done some yarn chicken just to like I could have just made the straps a little shorter. Actually, no, I think I needed it. I don't know which side, but I might have needed it to finish like this much of it. So, yeah, but overall, I'm liking it. Would I make this again? Probably not, just because I did not enjoy making it. But I think I will be wearing this a lot. So, you know, if you really like cables and lace, and you like how this looks, then I think it's a great finished object. Oh, one more comment on this pattern. The instructions for the decreasing I thought were kind of confusing. Part of me thinks that, because usually Sari Nordlund's patterns and explanations are very clear, and so part of me thinks that maybe because this pattern was originally, I think, published like first in a pom-pom magazine or just like some magazine, that I think the instructions need to be a little bit shortened, or you know, it can't be overly verbose or have like charts for like all different sizes. I think like a decrease chart for all sizes, even though that sounds kind of maybe like too much, would have been helpful. But the decreases in the lace pattern specifically, those instructions were kind of difficult to figure out. So that was kind of like one annoying thing, but other than that, it went pretty good as long as you can read lace charts. So yeah, oh my gosh, I actually really like how this looks. I like how it fits. I like how it looks on camera. The color's really nice. Yeah, I'm happy with it. Okay, so that is my one. Oh my gosh, wait. I just looked at my notes. I have 2 finished objects. So this was my first finished object. I have a second finished object. How could I forget this one? Oh, it is a ginormous one. Can you guess? I finally finished my Sweet Shop blanket, patterned by Penrose. And let me first, before I show the entire thing, show you how I have been for the past, since January. The last 4 knitted squares for this blanket were in this green, variegated and green tonal colorway, which is so pretty, and that finished up the winter seasons sock sets, which is this 4x4 square here. So that's the winter one. I will show all the seasons now, but let me try and hold up the entire blanket. It's done, and I mean, I think the width of this you can see in the camera, right? Pretty much. Well, here, if I kind of like move over so you can kind of see the like diagonal. Yeah. So that's how wide this, well, it's a square. I made an 8x8 square for the blanket. And it's all done. As a recap for this blanket, for all of the contrast colors on this blanket, I used Pasley Knits 2023, so last year, seasons boxes, sock sets. I got the sock sets for all 4 seasons last year, and I used every single colorway. I basically used the entire mini for each sock set, which was all the tonals, and then each square contrast color took about 10 grams of yarn, so pretty much used up all of the minis, and then I used about 20 grams of the main full skein for each of the sock sets, and there were 4 sock sets for each season, and so this came out to be an 8x8 square, and I used US 6 needles, which I think is the recommended needle size for this pattern, but I think my gauge was a little big, so my squares are 2 decreased repeats smaller than the pattern states, and so just keep that in mind. And so yeah, they might be, what I'm trying to say is the pattern says it should use about 10 grams of each for each, contrast color for a square, and then, the main color for the square. But because I think my gauge was a little big, but still use about the same amount of yarn, I just used whatever, I increased to whatever would use up about 10 grams of yarn, and that ended up just being less stitch counts than the pattern. And what else? The main color, which is like this off-white color, is just an undyed yarn. And I think that worked out really well. One, because it's a lot cheaper than, I was like, I don't want to buy a hand-dyed white-ish colored yarn or neutral colored yarn for an entire blanket, because that is a lot of main color for this. So having an undyed yarn was really nice, and I really like the end result just because it is, it shows all of the colors. And then I did plan this out so that each season would have its own 4x4 square, so that when you fold the blanket, you can decide which season you want to be shown. So let me do that right now. I totally forgot. I've been trying to, when I finish one of the seasons, I posted it on my Instagram, but I did not do fall, and then now winter's done, so I have 2 more to catch up on. But let's start with, I think honestly, this is my favorite colorways from the spring boxes. So this is the spring season. I'm actually using, one of my new cast-ons is using some of the leftovers from the main colors from the sock set, so you'll see that towards the end of the video, but this is spring. And then we've got summer on this side. This is so bright and colorful and fun. Here we go. I love that, each season is so, matches so well and is so, I don't know, just perfect. I feel like it describes the season really well. It's so distinct from each of the seasons, which is super nice. Okay, I'm just refolding it, so now I can show you fall. This might be my second favorite one. Yeah, I really like those colors. So this is the fall square, and then last but not least, the last one that I just finished, winter. It's so good. Okay, slightly random thought, but this colorway in the winter box, I'm pretty sure this is called Aurora Borealis, and last night in Seattle there was a huge there was a very high likely chance of seeing some northern lights, Aurora Borealis, all the way down here in Seattle, and I was really skeptical about it, if I'm gonna be completely honest. I was like, I don't think I'm going to see it from where I am living, because there's so much just light pollution, I feel like I was like, you would have to be in complete darkness somewhere in the mountains to see this, so I really wasn't expecting to see anything. But oh my gosh, I was able to see stuff from my house, from my apartment. It was really crazy. It was very cool to see. I've never seen northern lights before, and it was very cool. I'm still kind of thinking about it and looking back at my pictures on my phone. I was like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. Oh, if editor me remembers, maybe I'll put some pictures that I took here. I will say though, it was a lot easier to see through the camera than it was with your naked eye. When I was actually looking out at the sky, I was like, I think it looks kind of greenish, maybe a little red, but I'm not totally sure. Sometimes it looked kind of like there was a streak in the sky, but I was like, was that a cloud? But when I had my phone, and I have an iPhone, and if it's on like the nighttime mode or something, like through the phone you could see all of the colors, and so that was really crazy. I think there was maybe only like a 15-minute window from when, yeah, because we were sitting outside for maybe like half an hour total, maybe like 1 hour. We go back outside to wait for a little bit and look to see if, we can see more, if it got, more bright in the colors. But there was maybe like, a short window where the colors were actually quite, again, not as bright as it showed in the pictures, but that you could tell that there was something going on. That was really crazy. So anyway, I was just like, of course, when I see something like that, I was like, oh my gosh, there's a yarn colorway that's called Aurora Borealis, and it's in my blanket. So anyway, just a fun little fun fact there. So that's my Sweet Shop blanket. I can't believe it's done. This has been it's a long-term project, even though, it's been, I guess, maybe like 5 months, if I start in January. No, 4 months, if it's May now, working on this. And, I guess, the tank top that I just finished, I cast on almost a year ago. And this one was just 4 months ago. But this is something that I have been working on every single week from that start date. That, the tank top I did not touch for like months. But it feels really good to have such a big project done. And, of course, just in time for the weather to get so hot. But as I'm trying to reframe my mind on this, is that it is ready to be used as soon as the weather gets cold, because sometimes that just happens out of the blue, or sometimes there's cold nights, you never know. So it's ready to be used whenever. I am really happy with the end result. I really it came out exactly how I was hoping that it would, and so that's always feels great when that happens. And I honestly cannot wait. Actually, I guess I could wait a little bit, but I'm excited to make another blanket, and with, of course, different colors, but this was fun to make. So, and I think my pacing on this, which was 4 squares a week, was actually quite nice, because it's less than 1 square a day, but it kind of keeps me going on this project, and also so that I don't forget. At some point I memorized the pattern on how you make the square and all of that, so once, sometimes for patterns like that, it's really hard to get back into it if you forget what the instructions were and you have to go back and read it, versus just pick it up and just do it by memory. So that has been really helpful. But yeah, Sweet Shop blanket. I do not know a couple things. I do not know how I'm going to take a finished object picture of this. And I also still don't know how I'm going to maybe wash this. I know a couple of you have commented in my last video about me saying I'm worried about color bleeding for this, just because there are so many different colors at so many different kind of saturations. And I would be so worried for it to bleed. And I guess I think what will probably happen is, right now I probably won't wash it anytime soon, but because it's a blanket and because I think it's going to be used quite a lot, I would eventually like to wash it just to keep it clean. But I'm gonna hold off on that until I feel like it needs to be cleaned, I guess. So, but when that happens, I will keep you all updated, but it might not be for some time. I'm just really nervous about it, and so I'm just going to enjoy it as it is for now. And yeah, I'm also really glad because I think my boyfriend also likes this blanket. He's told me in the beginning that he never wants me to knit a sweater for him because he won't wear it, and that's fair. Better I know now than make a sweater and then be sad because he doesn't wear it. But he's been wearing the socks, both 2 pairs of socks that I've knit him, he has worn, and I did knit him. The first thing I ever knit him was a beanie, and he does wear that sometimes when it's really cold. He just usually doesn't get cold at all, but he does wear it. And then I think he actually likes this blanket, and so I'm very happy about that. So I feel good that this will get used, and that also makes me motivated to like make more blankets so that maybe, you know, he can use this one, I can use another one, or something like that. So yeah. Oh, it's done, and it's so happy, and it's so colorful, and I love it. Okay, that is now all of my finished objects. I have 2 finished objects this week, the top and the blanket. So that is all for the finished objects. Now time to talk about my my whips. I'm going to, oh my gosh, I always started the whips section with my sweet shop blanket, and now it is done, so I don't have that to talk about. But I am planning, now that the blanket's done, I am planning on starting with the Stella quilt cushion, which is a pattern, again, by Laura Penrose, and it's kind of like the sweet shop blanket, but the squares are in different, it makes it look more like a quilts pattern than just kind of like the same squares. Contrast color, main color, contrast color, main color. It has a more of like a quilt, like a star looking kind of pattern. But I want to start that pretty soon. We'll see. I think I'll probably start it this week, but if not, maybe the week after or something. But that is on the to-do list very, very soon now that the blanket's done. Okay, whips. I want to start off with the one that is the closest to being finished. And so honestly, I could have finished it for this week, but I kind of wanted to save that so I have a finished object for next week. This is my Weekender Crew by Andrea Mowry. Let me hold up what I have. Okay, I finished knitting it. I actually also blocked it, and it's all dry now. Ta-da! It's so cute. I love it. So you're going to be like, wait, if you finish knitting it and you finish blocking it, why is it not finished yet? Because there are pockets on this thing. They're, of course, optional, but I want to put the pockets on it, and so I have knit the 2 pockets. These are also washed and blocked, but as you can tell, they are not attached to the sweater yet, and so I just need to sew the pockets on. Honestly, I don't really like sewing pockets on, but I'll do it because they're cute. But yeah, I just need to sew the pockets on and, you know, weave in those ends, and then the sweater will be done. So it should get done by next week's video. It smells so good because, as I've said before, I pretty much only use Sewrella wool wash because I love all of the scents, and so every time I have a finished object, I seriously just like, I love smelling them. Okay. As a reminder for this project, this is actually it's a handspun sweater. The handspun yarn I use for this is the fiber is from John Arbon Textiles. The fiber like base or colorway, whatever's, like if you go on the website, it's called Yarnadelic, and the colorway of the fiber I got is called the Beautiful Ones. And I don't know what color to call this. Is it mostly gray? Does it look mostly gray from far away? Because if you look closely, and I hope that the camera picks it up and focuses pretty soon, the fiber had many different colors in it. And so there's a bit of yellow, blue, and red in it, which kind of blends to look a little, the red blended to look a little pink. And I think it's so pretty. I just look at this and I'm hoping that when I take finished object pictures of this, that I will be able to capture the colorway, the yarn on this. I mean, it looks almost variegated all knitted up, just like slightly variegated. I think you can kind of see it even like this. You can tell there's just like some different colors going on. I really like it. I think it came out so good. I'm very happy with it. I started the spin for this at the beginning of this year because the fiber was a birthday present from my boyfriend. And I finished pretty much very soon after I finished spinning the yarn. I cast on this sweater and then I knit it up super fast because it was actually quite fun to work on. I should probably save some things to talk about when it's actually finished next week, but it is worked bottom up and it is a drop shoulder sweater. It has a really cute ribbing detail on the shoulders, and it is worked reverse stockinette for the body, but the sleeves are a regular stockinette, so you can tell that the body here is the purl side of the stockinette, and then the sleeves are the knit side. And so I thought that was really fun. And tubular bind offs for the cuffs, and the neckband, and I thought that was really nice. Oh, I think either last time or the time before that, I showed you the back of the neck just because it was hard for me to find pictures of the back of the neck shaping and what that kind of looked like, and so you can kind of see that. How do I hold this up and talk about it? Let me do this maybe. The back is worked flat after, working the armholes, and some shaping is done here, but you still kind of get this slight ribbing down here. And then so if you kind of follow, you can kind of see this line here, that's where the shaping was. You do actually pick up over here for the neckband, but these stitches are worked up as it's just all connected in this middle part here. And I trusted the instructions, I followed what they said, but I just sometimes I just really like to know what's happening and what it's going to look like when I'm doing something, especially picking up stitches and all of that. So yeah, what else? There is a really cute slip stitch detail down the middle, in the front and also in the back. Oh, there is a split hem here, very cute, and the front is shorter than the back, and I also really like that. I like split hems, and I also really like when the front is shorter than the back. And it blocked out really nicely. It was looking a little scrunched up before blocking, especially around the ribbing at the bottom. Everything was kind of scrunched because of that, and so blocking really helped open that up. I did try this on, and I love how it fits. I knit size 1, is that right? That's what I have in my notes. Knit size 1. Am I sure? I think I might have knit size 2. Let me check that right now, but I did use the recommended needle sizes for this, which is US 4, 3.5 millimeter, and US 6, which is 4 millimeter needles. And I will say that my gauge was actually kind of off with my handspun. I think what's weird though is my stitch gauge, I think, was pretty much spot on to the pattern gauge, but my row gauge was too big. So yeah, it was just, so, it didn't really, I was worried about the shaping up here, for the shoulders and the armholes, armholes? I don't know, just the shaping here where it's slanted, because that does kind of, the sizing of that does kind of your row gauge, I think, really, because they tell you how many rows to knit, a certain way. So I was worried it would be too big, if that makes sense, over there, but it honestly works out fine. It feels wearing wise, it feels like it fits fine, and so I'm quite happy with that. Because otherwise, if row gauge is off, you can just knit to whatever measurements the pattern says, because usually they just say knit until whatever whatever inches, you know, so that was fine. Okay, I think I did knit size 1. I don't know why I'm feeling weird about that, but if it's not size 1, I will change it in my notes in the description. Yeah, this is the Weekender Crew. Very happy with it. The pockets just need to get sewn on, and the pockets will be sewn on in the front at the bottom, so like here-ish. And I think it'll look cute. I really like how it looks on Andrea Mowry's version, so yeah. I was worried about running out of yarn, but after working both sleeves, after working one sleeve and seeing how much yarn that took, I was like, oh, I'm going to be totally fine to do a second sleeve and to do the pockets and to have leftover. So I do have a good amount actually left over, but my yarn estimates as far as like, you know, buying fiber and spinning it has been pretty good, because I don't have like a massive amount of leftover, but I don't have a scary amount like, oh, I almost didn't make it. So worked out well. I don't think I changed measurements for this. Anyway, I'm talking like it's a finished object. More details on it next week when it is finished. Although I don't know, maybe I'll have it am I going to wear it during the video next week? Depends how hot it is, because this sweater is quite dense. My yarn it's a 3-ply, so I was trying to aim for a DK weight, but I think I might have some parts of it are a lot more dense, slightly ropey-ish in some sections, and so it's just a kind of a dense, heavy-ish sweater. I think I'm going to like wearing it, but yeah, it's just kind of a dense sweater. Nothing bad, but it is just something I've noticed. So, I can't wait to wear it, but it's going to be hard now that it's summer. But I like it a lot, and I can't believe this is my second ever handspun sweater, and I'm so proud of it. Now, oh my gosh, am I going to start thinking, do I make a third sweater spin this year? Or third ever sweater spin and second sweater spin of the year. It's like I finished this one halfway through the year almost. So I could potentially, but I have so much other fiber that I want to spin. So maybe that'll just wait until later. But now I can start maybe thinking about what I want to do for my next sweater spin. But I'm going to enjoy this sweater spin for a good amount of time, I think. I think it came out so good. I'm so happy. Of course, there's room for improvement in my spinning. It still wasn't that consistent. I could tell that, I still, honestly, I think maybe 2 skeins out of like the 4 I had were probably more of like a worsted weight yarn. And then the other 2 were like probably more of a DK weight. But yeah, I think an improvement from my first sweater spin, but they're both different, and both of the sweaters I made from them are different patterns, and I love them both, and I can't wait to continue to add to my handspun sweater collection. Okay, so moving on to my next project that I worked on this week. Let's see. Okay, I have my Verglass wrap. This one, I have some progress, but not too much. Let me show you my stitch marker here for my week's progress. I'm still on the 3rd sock set of this, so I haven't moved on to the 4th and last one for this pattern. I'm just trying to untangle my yarn right now. Okay, here it is. It might honestly kind of look the same from where I was last week. So this is my stitch marker for progress. And so I worked a little bit, just a little more of it. I really was just prioritizing other projects to knit on this week, or this past week. So it's still, I mean, I don't even think this section is halfway, it's not halfway done yet. So and it's supposed to use up pretty much almost all of this yarn. So as you can see, I'm not that close. So I'm just gonna keep working on it. I'm kind of ready for this one to be done. Or I'm ready to move on to the 4th skein. I feel like it's like, oh, it's so close. I just want to get to the 4th skein, because then maybe by the 4th skein, I'm like, oh, it's the last one, so let's just keep going. So yeah, but I'm still very happy with this project. It is just getting a little bit too much of the same. But again, I know I am going to love the end result, and of course a shawl will be done just in time for summer. But I like how all the colors are looking together, and yeah, just the entire thing. I love it. My soup shawl. So, oh yeah, it's just some details for this. Coast to Coast Yarn Co. Soup sock sets is the yarn that I'm using for this. The Verglass wrap pattern is by Lindsey Fowler. I am knitting the size large, and I'm using US 5 needles. Yes, US 5 needles, which is 3.75 millimeter needles for this. And yeah, it's a great way, I think, to use up sock sets, especially if you have some that you think all look good together. I think it's a good way to use up sock sets. So yeah, because this is made to use up like all of the yarn, all of your yardage in the sock set, pretty much. I do have some left over of the mini skeins for each of these, and a little bit also of the full skein, but it's really meant to try and use up the entire yardage of your sock set. So I really like that, and it's also very cute, so that's always nice when it's cute and uses up yarn. Okay, so that is the Verglass wrap, just a quick update on that project. Next, I have another shawl. I have so much shawls. I love shawls. I went from being like, I don't ever want to knit a shawl, because how the heck do you wear a shawl, to just knitting a whole bunch of shawls. Okay, this is my melt shawl. I'm so happy to hear that a lot of you guys like my color choices for this shawl. I really, again, and I'm going to always say this, and I'm going to say it for one of my new cast-ons too, but I'm so scared on putting colorways together for a project, especially like for stripes or like color work. Like, I'm really always nervous about if the colors are going to look good together. So I'm glad that this one worked out and uses yarn in my stash. So good. Okay, holding it up for progress. Where is my stitch marker? Oh, it's right here. Little cat. So yeah, this row was where I started for the week, and as you can see, the rows keep growing, so the rows are getting longer, which means more stitches, which means takes longer to do each row. But I just got through another like repeat of the stripes plus the brioche section, and yeah, I again really like it. I like that each section, it's a good break. I think Andrea Mowry does this with a lot of her patterns, or like her shawl patterns, is that there's like just enough of a pattern section to make you feel good about finishing it, and then like moving on to another stitch pattern, or like, different part of the pattern, so that you don't feel like a section is dragging on for too long. So, for example, there is like a lace section, and there's some stripe section, and then there's a small brioche section, so it kind of keeps it interesting like that. And because this is a DK weight yarn shawl, it is working up a lot quicker than I've been knitting a lot of like fingering weight shawls, and so this just feels like it's kind of flying by really fast, and so it's just really nice to have, I think, a DK weight project like this on my needles. Did I say the pattern name for this? Sorry if I didn't. This is the Melt Shawl by Andrea Mowry. The yarn, I'm using 3 different yarn colorways for this. All of them are Woolberry Berry DK base. The main color is Sandcastle. And then the dark maroon red color is Festive, and then the blue color is Button Jar. And yeah, I mean, it's just working up really nice. And I was gonna say, I'm just, the only thing about this pattern, I'm very scared on how many ends there will be to weave in. Just, it's every stripe section. There's 2 ends on each side. So it's going to kind of, do you see all the ends? It's gonna be a time. It's gonna take up a lot of time to weave in these ends, but I think it will be worth it for the shawl. Yeah, so, there are 2 sizes in this pattern. I am knitting size 1, which is the smaller size, just because I didn't have the yarn for it, and the pattern pictures, like Andrea Mowry's sample, is the size 1, and it looks like a good size, and so I feel pretty good about that. Just doing size 1. And yeah, I'm using US 6 needles for this. A lot of my projects lately have been asking for like US 5, US 6 needles, and I'm like, I don't have that many US 6 needles, and so this is one project I have been, because I have interchangeable needles, I've just been like taking them off to work on other projects and putting it back on to work on the other projects. Oh, one thing that is good, speaking of needle size, is that my Sweet Shop blanket used US 6 needles, and so this was the one I was switching between this shawl and the blanket, knitting with these needles. And so now that the blanket's done, I can just keep these on this shawl, and so maybe they get to stay on here until I'm done with the shawl. So that would be kind of nice. But yeah, I think it's going to be very squishy and warm, and I'm very much looking forward to the finished object for this. But yeah, I've been enjoying the process of knitting on this one, which is always really nice. So yeah, and I've also been really into Andrea Mowry patterns lately. I don't know if you could tell, so I've just been enjoying them a lot. Okay, am I on to my new cast-ons for this week? Okay, are you ready? I have 3 new cast-ons for this week. 2 of them are summer tops, and so, I feel like I'm really in the mood. This week was a very sunny week in Seattle, and so I feel like it really got me into like, let me just cast on some summer tops. And so I'll start off with that, and one of them is a cowl, which won't be useful during the summer, but I'll just show it to you and talk about it soon, but not yet. Let me start with the Queen's Cami. Oh my gosh, where is it? I have a pile of all my stuff here. Where did it go? Okay. Oh my gosh. The yarn ball. I don't know where it is. Okay, I guess I'm just going to, I don't know where the yarn ball is. It's under all my other projects, so I'm just going to hold it here. I cast on the Queen's Cami, which is a pattern by Tori. It came out last year, and I've been wanting to knit it since the pattern came out, but other projects have taken priority over that. But I watched my friend Megan, who is a Naughty Mess here on YouTube. She has a great podcast. Go check it out if you haven't already. But she had a video talking about some summer tops and kind of sharing different patterns, different types of tops, different designers, and the Queen's Cami came up in it, and it reminded me that I wanted to make this, and I was kind of like looking in my stash just to see if there was anything that stood out to me that was like, I want to be a Queen's Cami, and I think you will like this. I decided to cast it on in this bright pink. This is Explorer Knits Denali sock in the colorway In My Neon Era. I got this yarn during the summer market, the Explorer Knits summer market last year that I went to in Denver, Colorado, and I haven't cast on anything with it. I actually have 2 skeins of finger weight and 2 skeins of the Rockies DK base in this colorway, and so I was like, one of them will be a hat, because I think my Seattle knit friend group is going to, or the plan was to knit hats. Megan already knit her hat in this colorway, and it's so cute. And so now that I'm using the fingering weight for this top, I will probably use the DK weight for some kind of hat in the future. But yeah, so this is my progress so far. It's a bottom up tank top, and it's kind of like a peplum-ish top, and so it is a little more flowy at the bottom, and then it's a little bit more fitted at the top. And the way that she accomplishes this kind of shaping is through using different needle sizes to get different gauge. And so you're always, I don't know why, I thought that maybe the bottom part was knit with the yarn held double, and then the top part was like just fingering weight by itself. But no, it's just literally just different gauge with a single strand of fingering weight. So yeah, I'm really annoyed that I can't like pull this because my yarn ball is somewhere under this, and so I can't really, anyway, it's fine. But yeah, so there's 3 different needle sizes for this that you work, and so majority of this bottom part of the body is the bigger needle size, and so that is US 6 needles, which is 4mm, and then you switch off to using US 4 for just a short amount, and then US 3, US 4 is 3.5mm, and you just knit for a little bit, and then US 3 is 3.25mm needles, which I am using right now, and I believe that this will be what is used for the rest of like the top, from probably like under right here. You're still working in the round under the arm, and then you split, but kind of like all from up there is using the smallest needle size, and so that's kind of the part that I'm at right now. There is optional shaping for the back at the bottom of this top. As you can see, the front, this is the front that I'm showing you right now, and the back is kind of hanging lower, and so that is some short row shaping that is optional if you would like. But Tori has that in her samples, and I think it's really cute, like having that shaping, and so I did do that for this. I am knitting size 2, and I think actually my sizing, I should knit size 1, but as I've mentioned a little bit before with like tank tops, I don't really like negative ease if I can avoid it. So I'm going to size 2, which should give me just like a couple inches of positive ease, but I'm worried it might be too big. I think it'll be okay. I just really want the bottom part of this to be flowy and away from my body. I don't want it to be close and touching my body. So I went with size 2 so that I would get for sure some kind of flowiness at the bottom part of this top. So we'll see how it goes. I think I made a significant amount of progress on this, considering it's a fingering weight top, even though, you know, the gauge is bigger at the start or the bottom of this top. But yeah, I've just kind of been working on this a lot. It's really nice to have, like, I'm trying to think, is this my only like stockinette in the round knit right now with one color? I think so. So it's kind of nice to have just a project that is stockinette in the round for a really long time. It's kind of annoying for, you know, just it feels like it takes forever and that I never make progress, but sometimes it's nice to just have something where it's really mindless to knit on. So feeling really good about that. I will be totally honest, I was skeptical about this color for me. I don't know if it will, does it look like it'll look good on me? I don't know. But I was like, it's kind of bright. Like, it's fun, but it's kind of bright. But now that I have it worked up like this, and actually Tori, you also has a bright pink version of this. It's a different colorway, but it's still like a bright pink. And it's so cute, and I think just for like summer and fun and sunlight, sunshine, happiness, like I really, 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 really like this a lot more than I thought I would, and I just think it's so cute. And I'm very happy about it. It makes me very happy to be working on this, and so I love it. I love it. I feel like this is how I felt about the Pike Place colorway from Explorer Knits, which was that kind of brighter red color as well. I was skeptical, but now I absolutely love it. I feel a similar way about this pink color too. She just does really good colorways and makes me love colors that I didn't think I would like, I guess. Like just the way that it is. I like it. It's bright, but I've seen more neon-ish pinks that I don't really like, and I like this a lot more. So, yeah. Great color. I can't wait to, as with literally every single one of my projects, I can't wait for it to be done, and I can't wait for it to be finished and for me to wear it. But, yeah. I'm very excited. Oh, one thing I will mention is that the hem of this is a folded over hem, and so it does have like that purl row. That is where you fold. And so there's instructions on how to do it so that you fold it and then you knit together to bind, like the inside, and then you continue knitting. I really don't like that method of doing this folded hem. I find it so finicky, and I always am like off by like a row when I'm trying to pick up and knit two together. So I just left it and just continued knitting and doing the pattern. And then once I got a certain amount done, it might have been honestly after the shaping for the back, once I got a little more done, then I folded it and sewed it on the inside, the folded over hem. I just sewed it. And I prefer that method. I also feel like it's faster that way for some reason. So yeah, just wanted to mention that is what I did. In the pattern instructions, it does have like a little like hint section. Like if you don't want to do the, fold and then knit two together to do the folded hem, you can just sew it on later. And so yeah, I'm glad it does have that. I would have done it anyway, but just for anyone who like doesn't know that that's an option, I'm glad that is in the pattern. So that is the Queen's Cami by Tori Yu. And then I have another summer top that I cast on. And this is actually part of a knit along that my friend Megan is hosting along with Emily Curtis, another friend. Oh my gosh, all the friends, so much fun. And this is a knit along for Emily Curtis patterns. So I've decided to knit the Stripey turtle tank. This is my second Stripey turtle tank. I've knit one, was it last year? Must have been last year. And I really liked it. And I actually had this color combination yarn. I had it when I made my first one. And I knew I was going to make a second one, and then it just like never happened. But now that this knit along is happening, I was like, what a perfect time to cast on this second one. So because I have the yarn ready. So this is my version. I am knitting size 3, and I'm using the recommended needle size, which is US 3, 3.25 millimeter needles. And I think I'm going to do a couple things different for this second one than the first one, but sizing is the same, and so right now everything has been the same as I've knit the first one. And the yarn for this, I'm using all Woolberry yarn, but the main color, which is this dark brown, is the Berry Cashmere base in the colorway Gilbert Blythe. And I have 4 mini skeins now instead of 5. The pattern calls for 5, but I only had this 4 picked out for this. And so I think for my size it should work out. I shouldn't run out of yarn. I hope, if I calculated it correctly. And all 4 are mini skeins from the Anne of Green Gables collection. And actually the main skein is also from the Anne of Green Gables collection. Really quickly, the reason why I had this yarn combination all picked out from my first version is because I got was it last year or the year before that, was when Woolberry had her Anne of Green Gables yarn club. And that is why the main skeins for these are the berry cashmere. I got the berry cashmere yarn bases for the yarn club for however long that yarn club went, and so I had one skein of each of the colors in the Anne of Green Gables collection. And then after that club was over, Woolberry had a pre-order for this collection, and part of that pre-order were some mini skeins, and I thought the mini skeins were very cute, and so I got a set of the mini skeins, and then I split up those mini skeins. I think so there must have been 9 mini skeins, and then I split them up 5 and 4, and I paired them with one of my main skeins to make the stripy turtle tank. And so I have a very pastel colored one that used, I believe the colorway was White Way of Delight as the main skein, and then 5 of the minis, which were very pastel colors. And then this is the other half of the mini skein, 4 colors, and then I just chose another full skein tonal that I really liked and thought that went well with these colors. So yeah, so now I will, after this is done, I will have 2 stripy turtle tanks that are all using Woolberry Fiber Co. Anne of Green Gables yarn. And I thought that was really cute. I like themes like that. And actually what's really funny is my friend Katie also, so we had knit night, virtual knit night the other night, and I showed them all my progress on this because I cast this on this week. And Katie was like, I think that looks like my version. And I was like, what? So, and she showed a picture, and this looks like exactly like her colors that she has on hers. And so we're going to be like twinning. I wonder if, like, did I subconsciously see it, her version at some point, and that's why these colors kind of stood out as like working well together? I don't know, but I'm very excited to be twinning. It was a very unintentional twinning, and so, I mean, I like intentional twinning, and unintentional twinning is just like a really nice surprise, and so I'm pretty excited for that, and I feel very happy about it, and the colors are working out really well together. So very happy with how this is turning out so far. I remembered slowly that there are a lot of ends to weave in for this as well, just because it's for each stripe. But it's really fun to work on because the stripes are small, and you kind of just like want to keep going. You want to just like get to the next color. So it's been working out well. My one thing for this has nothing to do with the pattern. It has all to do with the yarn. My main skein, the brown, the Gilbert Blythe colorway, the color's rubbing off on my hands when I work on it. I cannot recall. I guess, I don't really work with dark yarn colors very much, and so maybe this would happen more often if I knit with darker colors, but I don't remember the last time I've had a colorway yarn rub off in my hands as I'm working on it. So when I work on this, my hands get very brown, just like all over brown, and it's fine with me, but it is just kind of like looks, it's just kind of like, ooh, I don't know, have to kind of wash my hands. It washes off, it's fine, but it's just, I was like, oh wow, the colorway is rubbing off in my hands. So that's just the one thing that I want to mention. Doesn't make me want to work on this less. It's just something that's happening that I've noticed that I want to share with you. So, yeah. I was like picking it up like I was just going to start working on it right now. But that is what I have on this for now. If you want to join the knit along, go check out Megan A Naughty Mess on her YouTube video description. I think she has her there's a Discord for this knit along that you can join. I joined it. I didn't really post anything yet in it. I'm not really good at posting in chats. I just feel like, I don't know, I'm just not good at it, so Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. I probably should. But if you like that, definitely join the Discord. And yeah, it's going to be a fun time knitting Emily's patterns. I love her patterns. I've knit a lot of her patterns. Is there a pattern of hers I haven't knit yet? If there is, then I will probably knit it this summer, even if it's not a summer knit. I need to knit all her patterns. I've knit quite a few of her patterns. But it's going to be a fun time. I think the idea is also, like, if you're going to flock this year, that, you know, this is something we could, like, all wear to flock, or just have a summer top ready for when flock comes around. So, yeah. I'm very happy with how this is turning out, and the summer knits are, like, yeah, they're, like, kind of fun to work on. So, yeah, those are my 2 summer knit cast-ons for this week. And then I have 1 non-summer knit cast-on, but it's an accessory knit, and so it should kind of go by quickly. I cast on the Reversible cross collar cowl, and it's a pattern from Pearl Soho, and actually kind of a while ago when I was working on my Sweet Shop blanket in the spring colorways, maybe spring or summer colorways, I don't know when it was, but there was a viewer who commented, because it was one of the videos where I said, what am I going to do with, after the blanket's done, I will have 80 grams of fingering weight yarn for each sock set, because I'm only using 20 grams for each colorway. So I was like, what am I going to do with them? I could just knit socks with all of them, but that's also kind of a lot of socks. And I was just like, if you guys have any ideas. And one of the suggestions was this pattern, the Reversible cross collar cowl. And it is a DK weight pattern, which is nice because I can hold fingering weight double. And it just about uses almost 80 grams of the yarn that I have, which was like perfect. And I was just kind of waiting for a time to cast this on. I knew I was going to cast this on or make this pattern with some of the leftover yarn. I just had to look. So it's a 2-color like reversible cowl. It's like folded. It kind of reminds me of it's like a half and half triangles wrap, but cowl version, and it's sewn. I hope, well, it's also a free pattern. I'll have it linked down below. Definitely take a look at it if that sounds like it's interesting to you. But let me show you what I have right now. So I am using, as a reminder for the yarn, both of these colors are from the Pasley Knits Seasons boxes. The yarn base is called Coastal Sock, just as a reminder, and also a reminder for myself what the base actually is. And the colorways I'm using, both of these are from the spring box. So this first one is River Sunsets. I think this is my favorite color out of all of the season boxes. Of course, because it's pink and there's some green. That's kind of like, I don't know, there's something about pink and green that I really like. So that's the first colorway. And then the second one, which I've just worked a little bit of, which is like this blue and pink and green, is called In the Meadow. And it's a very simple pattern. It is free, so I feel fine talking about how this is constructed. So it is just stockinette knitting, straight. No increases or decreases. You just cast on the amount of stitches and you knit flat stockinette. Actually, there is a kind of like I-cord or slip stitch edging on one side of this, but not on the other. And you just work 8 inches of your first color, and then 8 inches, you just change colors, and 8 inches of your second color. And then when that's done, you fold it in half. I can't show it to you because I literally have like no second color, but you fold it in half. And then you do a cool thing where you, can I do it? I didn't even try. You do sew it down at the seams kind of like this. So it has kind of like the triangle look in the front that will go, goes around your neck. And so one color will be showing on the front, and then on the other side you'll kind of like have a little sneak peek of your second color, but you can also reverse it to show your second color as well. And so to me it looks like half and half triangles wrap, but small and cowl version, and I think that that's really cute. And so, and again, it also uses up I think I had 79 grams of this first color, this pink color, 79 grams, and when I calculated like yardage and stuff and what the pattern says, and I was like, I think I'll just make it to 8 inches. But also my gauge is also a little off for this. My stitch gauge is fine, but my row gauge is too big. So I didn't knit as much rows as I would have thought I needed. But I do have like 9 grams left over of yarn for my first color, so I still have some left over, but I feel like with that amount of leftover, I could either save it I could make a scrunchie, it's almost 10. If it was 10, I could have it as a candidate for another, sweet shop blanket or something for one of the colors. But it's fine. I'd rather have like a little bit of leftover than like run out of yarn, I guess. And this at least uses a majority of that leftover skein anyway, so that's been super nice. And then, yeah, so same goes for the second color. I actually, for some reason, have more grams, so probably more yardage of the second color, so I'll probably have more leftover, but, it's fine. So I think this is going to be a really cute way to use up some of my sock set main skeins from my sweet shop blanket. And so I could see myself, depending, how this first one comes out, I could see myself making this again with some other colors, kind of similar to how I've already have been trying to use up some of the other rest of the 80 gram main skeins. I've knit 2 pairs of socks with some of the summer colorways, and so yeah, I'm just kind of working through like the spring colorways right now. And yeah, so we'll see. I'm having kind of a fun time trying to find patterns for some of these not full skein leftovers, but substantial amount of leftover yarn. So I think that this is going to be a good one. And thank you to the viewer who suggested this pattern, because I like it. It's nice to work on, flat stockinette, very easy, and should work up pretty quickly. So, and if this is like, over halfway, and I got this done this week, I guess in theory I could be able to get this done next week, unless I work on other things. But yeah, so this is the reversible cross collar cowl. It is a one size pattern, free pattern. I think I might have said that. Oh, this is another pattern. Oh, good thing I caught this. I am using US 7 needles for this. I think it might have called for US 6, but as I have maybe mentioned before, they were all taken, and I was like, I'll just use US 7. But my stitch gauge is still good, so I don't know. But I think for something like this, gauge might not matter too much unless it's too small and then it doesn't fit around your neck or something. Okay, I think that's all I have for my my whips, my works in progress for this week. I just have short spinning update. Oh my goodness, I really need to my pile of stuff that I talk about is just it's literally just a pile. Okay, so I'm glad we're near the end here, just because now I don't have to dig through all my stuff anymore. I am almost done spinning up my Big Little Yarn Co. Rambouillet wool in the colorway Satsumaimo Pie. Oh, this color matches my top. I really like it. So this is my second bobbin. I got 2 braids of fiber of this, and so this is the second one. And I split them up and I kind of mixed and matched them. But this is I'm nearing the end. I think I have this much more fiber left to spin, and so I'm pretty much almost done. And I am making a spin with me, my second spin with me video, spinning up this fiber, and so I want to get this video out to you guys soon. So I've been kind of trying to work on that a lot, and so I want to finish spinning the singles so that I can ply. The plan is to do a chain ply for all of this. That'll be my first like full skeins, and in this case maybe like 2 braids of fiber all chain plied, but I want to try it and I want to film it just because it's an interesting technique. So that is the plan. I don't know how long it'll take me to do the plying, but I definitely want the singles to be done soon. So that is almost done. Almost done. It's been enjoyable to work with. I really like the Rambouillet wool, so I'm looking forward to seeing how that feels once it's all applied up. And then I have one fiber acquisition for this week. It is my Nest Fiber Monthly Club fiber for the month of April. I just got this in the mail the other day, and this is the first time the fiber is fin. I've never spun fin before, so this should be very interesting. And the colorway is corsage. It's very cute. Feels very springtime. I really like it. I mean, I've loved every single Nest fiber colorway that's come out. I think it was a good choice for me to be part of this fiber club, and yeah. Don't know how I'm feeling. I don't know how to tell. Yeah, I'm gonna have to like actually spin with this to tell you how I feel about this fiber, but yeah, it doesn't feel like super soft. Feels interesting. But yeah, I'm excited to spin with a new kind of fiber in a pretty color. So yeah, so that is my one acquisition. And oh, I have some other fun updates this weekend. I am dyeing yarn and fiber again. Well, I've been dyeing some yarn this morning, and I'm going to continue dyeing yarn for the rest of today, and then I'll probably dye more yarn tomorrow, and then if I can get to it, I want to dye some fiber this weekend, but if not, maybe the weekend after that. But I'm back at dyeing some yarn and fiber. I want to do more experimenting with colorways, mixing colorways, and getting kind of more of a system going, and just like, I'm hoping that the more I do it, the more some things will be intuitive, or like I'll kind of like have more ideas, and also to get, work on consistency and all of that. I want to make sure I don't felt fiber. That was like the last time I dyed fiber, I felted it kind of badly, and so I want to work on that this time. But yeah, that's really exciting, and I will show you all the results of that whenever it's done drying, which I guess if I do it this weekend, it should be done drying and stuff by next video maybe. So yeah, but right now I'm just like dyeing a whole bunch of mini skeins to get some colors, get some sample colors done, and I want to buy more dye colors because there's some colors that I just don't have, that I didn't buy for the dye, such as red. I've been like wanting to dye a red, and I was like, I don't have a red, so I'll probably look into buying a few more dye colors as well. But yeah, I want to get some more yarn dyeing and fiber dyeing kind of like in my weekend schedule of things that I want to do on the weekend. So yeah, very happy about that. I cannot wait to work on it now that I have more time, because I'm not studying for my exam. I just feel really excited for all of these things that I've been wanting to do for a very long time. So yeah, I feel like there was something else I wanted to talk about, but of course I don't have it in my notes. Just looking around, I think that is it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you hope you've had a great day. If you're watching this at the end of the day, hope you have a great day. If you are watching this at the beginning or middle of your day. And yeah, I am just so excited to be knitting and dyeing yarn and doing all of those things again at kind of more of a more frequent basis now. So really excited about that. I love making these videos. I love sharing with you all what I'm working on. And as always, let me know in the comments down below what you have been working on as well. If there's something you want to share, any new patterns you like. Are you also starting to cast on some summer knits? Because it's, yeah, I think summer's coming up pretty soon. Weather's getting warmer in some places, I assume. So yeah, also, did you see the northern lights where you are? I think a lot of people have. I've been seeing everyone post about it on Instagram. So yeah, crazy times. Okay, that is all I have. And I will talk to you all in next week's video. Bye.